Welcome back. We're starting already. And it's about the time that I said we would after game one. It's 4:11, so we actually are starting 4 minutes before I thought we would start. I'm just finishing up the game one recap, actually, as we speak, too, and learning as this one is hitting the air to left field, and that's going to fall down for a hit. That's Fuda getting on with a leadoff double. Madison Caldwell set a season high in strikeouts in game number one with 4. Lily Tomasello is, in fact, 1 home run away from tying the program record for most home runs in a single season. That was set by Megan Pappas and Erica Ragazzoni at 9 home runs. Caitlin DeAngelis at 17 career home runs. She's 1 behind Megan Pappas for 3rd most in program history and 2 behind Kayla Cressley for 2nd most. Post is 2-28 now this season when allowing the first run of the game. 3-6 when they get the first run of the game. All this coming to you as I wrote the game one story during the game that's just going on right now. So we're settled in now for game number 2. Fuda with a leadoff double, which I apologize, missed on the screen. We started kind of quick. Alyssa Hughes on the mound. And Hughes has been pretty good in her last few starts. So this is going to be an interesting matchup to watch. Can Post steal one away from St. Rose in game number 2? And hopefully, get on a win streak here to end out the regular season, because as we mentioned, they are not going to the CACC tournament no matter what. They've been eliminated from contention in that. Two-two count. Again, leadoff hit to Fuda. Has a runner on second. Hughes deals, swung on and fouled back to the screen. If you missed game one, 10-2 final score. Lily Tomasello, her 8th home run of the year, puts her 1 away from tying the program record for a single season, as I mentioned. She'll have some shots to do it here, and she'll have some shots to do it at Wednesday at home. She'll have some shots to do it over the weekend. She'll even have some shots on Tuesday. She's got plenty of shots to do it. If you haven't picked up on my vibe right here to what's going on, I'd prefer for her to do it at home, though. It sometimes just means a little bit more to see records get broken at home. Like we didn't get to see Grace Glassrud break 2,000 career saves at home since she did it in the playoffs, but then we also didn't find out till 3 weeks later that she actually broke 2,000 saves after an error from a previously added game. 3-2 count to Higgins, who had a great game one, 3 for 4, and they're going to get Hughes. Hughes going to get her swinging for the first out. So 1 away after the leadoff hit to Fuda, and that'll bring up Bland. Pretty much the same lineup going out there for both teams. The Eagles, the only changes are the Dickinson sisters are out of the game. Brianna Hines is in their place, and Jenna Raquelme is batting cleanup at 3rd. DeAngelis is playing short. Hines doing the catching. Otherwise, pretty much everything's the same. Pitch is outside for a ball. Fuda is catching, Higgins in right, DP is Bland, Chandler at first, Frazee at short, Dieter at second, Baker in center, Muller in left, and Schaub at third. So a couple switches, but for the most part, the same lineup for the visiting team. That one's popped in the air, going to get out of play and into the parking lot. Count remains 1-2. And, of course, if the Eagles are able to pull out a victory in game number 2, we'll have some post-game interviews for you hopefully soon after. That one's lifted deep in the air to center field, and that's a goner. See you later. Nothing bland about that one. Maddie Bland with a home run to dead center field gives St. Rose a 2-0 lead in the top of the first. So once again, I did just actually mention it, Post only 2 wins this year when the other team scores first. And St. Rose, now that they have scored first, has a chance to send Post to 2-29 this year when the opponent scores the first run of the game. As we're looking over towards home plate, you're probably going to see a fire engine go by in a moment. That one's popped in the air to left field. Calabrese coming on, makes the grab for the second out. Yeah, you're going to see a fire truck in the background in a moment here. There it is. We don't know why it's there. I don't see any smoke, but... Somebody just said that it was the cafeteria food. Well, that's a nice background image to have on the wide-out picture. We just have the fire truck now in the background of... it's parked itself right behind home plate. As Frazee is at the dish with nobody on and 2 out. It was low for a ball. Count 2-0. Again, if you didn't join us for game 1, it was a 10-2 score. In favor of St. Rose, as that one is lined into left field. Maida shading over, makes the grab. Side retired. We'll be back in a moment. 2-0 St. Rose. Bottom of the first coming up. Bottom of the first inning, 2-0 St. Rose on the home run by Maddie Bland. And I talked about it in game number 1. The top of the lineup was producing heavily for Post, not so much the bottom. And the bottom of the lineup was producing heavily for St. Rose, as opposed to the top that wasn't producing. Now we've seen a complete role reversal in terms of, at least for St. Rose in the early going, where the top of the lineup is the ones producing yet again. That pitch is outside for a ball, 1-0 the count. As Sam Ricarduli leads off. That pitch is also outside, 2-0 the count. Eagles looking to keep this one close early, get some runs, and hopefully get a Game 2 victory. Now it's in there for a strike, 2-1. That one's low. And 3-1 to Ricarduli now. So the early going of this one now. Matty Pupolo is on the mound, the junior infielder / pitcher from Adams, Massachusetts. Outside for a ball. Ricarduli is going to walk. Tying run is at the plate. Caitlin DeAngelis now is at the dish. She had a 3-for-4 performance in game 1, and they're not here right now. They're actually walking back from their car. as DeAngelis is going to chop the one on the ground. I don't know how that's going to be ruled. Did that hit off of the fielder's glove, or did that hit off of Ricarduli? So they're going to rule everybody safe for the time being. That almost looked like if any of you watching remember the 2004 American League ALCS matchup between the Red Sox and Yankees when A-Rod slapped the ball out of the first baseman's hand and was ruled out. I mean, Ricarduli didn't make a slapping motion on that, but it looked like she ran right through the glove or the ball. I don't know. Here's how it could go. The umpires could say Ricarduli did make contact with the second baseman, but she had possession of the ball and it popped out. And in which case then it's no force out because you have to hold on to possession as you make that tag. Or they could say Ricarduli knocked it out of her hands in some way and it's interference and then the runner's safe or the runner's out. I don't think that's how it's going to go because it looked like inadvertent contact. They could also say that it's interference on the on the runner and say that she was in the baseline when that play was happening. There's a lot of ways this can go, but they initially ruled it safe. So I have a feeling it's going to stay safe, and if it does, Lily Tomasello is going to come to the plate with a chance to tie the game, give them the lead with the 2 on and nobody out to start this game. It's how you want to start if you're post. And you can clearly tell some of these outfielders are cold. On the right side, Caitlin Baker and the left fielder Madison Muller are running around and jumping up and down to try and stay warm. I don't blame them. We would do that, but we're on a scaffolding like wooden platform, and we'd probably go through the wood if we jumped too hard and too long on it, if I had to guess. Sierra wants to try to my left. I don't think that would be a good idea. Umpire is still talking to one of the St. Rose coaches. My guess is the reason why they're still talking is because this is going to be called safe, and the St. Rose, one of the St. Rose coaches, because I don't know who's who, is saying, well, that is essentially probably saying that's BS. She should be out. I think that would probably be my guess what she's fighting for. And now we've got the outfielders switching positions just to stay warm. I think Emma Schaub is in the outfield now, pretending that she's catching fly balls in left field. And now she's jumping against the fence. I mean, we have nothing else to show you right now because the umpire is arguing with one of the coaches while Schaub is running around in the outfield. You're watching that right now. And we're going to play ball finally. So, runners are all safe. And Lily Tomasello to the plate with a chance to give Post the lead. Tomasello takes the first pitch for a strike. 0-1 the count. Again, she had a home run in Game 1. Another one here would tie the single-season record. Oh, man, she was thinking home run on that one. That one's going to go foul, though, out of play. 0-2. She's quickly in an 0-2 hole. Still no outs in this inning. First and second after what if you're St. Rose. I don't know what's going on out there, but Tomasello swings away at that, and it's fouled off. There are about 4 or 5 people running around in the parking lot chasing the one softball. Tomasello at the 0-2 count. Low, and it's going to be a wild pitch. No, they're going to say it hit her. That hit her? Interesting. I thought that was in the opposite batter's box. All right, Lily T, take your base. Bases loaded, nobody out. That'll bring up Jenny Riquelme. I really didn't even see that come close to hitting her. Where did it hit off of her is the real question. It must have grazed her and then changed direction just enough for the umpire to realize it. In fact, I'm kind of curious myself, and I'm going to go check out our stream just to see if I can, because we don't have replay right now of it. Pitch is outside. It's outside for a ball. Count moves to 3-0. So the Eagles have been in business early right now, and this is big, being down 2-0. Now Riquelme swings away at a 3-0. I don't know why they greenlight her on 3-0. Puopolo has not shown any control so far, and Riquelme swung away at a 3-0. There's a chance to score a run there if it's outside. I apologize. It's apparently 2-2. The pitch count on my screen, because we can't see the outfield scoreboard, says 3-1. Yeah, the live stats say 3-2, but I just saw them hold up. I see them holding up 2-2 on the infield, so I'm not 100% certain what the count is. So that makes more sense why Riquelme was swinging away. I had the wrong count on my screen. My apologies. I'm looking at Tomasello's play right now. It was after the foul ball. It was 0-2. Still waiting to find it here as that ball is low. Now it's 3-2 the count. Yeah, so it looks like that ball was in the dirt and may have bounced off her foot. But if it did, it was ever so slight. It was just hard to tell from this angle. 3-2, Riquelme on the ground. It's a base hit in the left field. 2 runs going to score, and just like that, the Eagles tie up the game. Jenny on the block at first base scores 2 runs, and we're tied all up at 2. So the first 4 batters for Post, I mean, it's just like game 1. The top of the lineup is producing, and now let's see. Can they continue to produce down the lineup? Sakala, the DP, was one of those top 4 in game number 1. See what they can do in game. She can do in game number 2. 0-1 count. Low, and now Riquelme is nearly doubled off of first, and she's got to be careful. Right now, your 2 runners on base, and Tomasello and Riquelme, are not your 2 fastest players in terms of trying to base steal or move up at all. So they got to be cautious on the base paths, especially in those scenarios right there. That pitcher's outside for a ball. Count goes to 2-1. Two and 1 is down the pipe for a strike. 2-2. Julia Maida on deck. It was 0 in game number 1. That one is outside. Once again, my pitch count on the screen was off, and it's a walk. My screen said 2-1 with the live stats. We're following along with the live stats because we can't, again, see the scoreboard in right field. And so the pitches were a little bit off yet again. It is a walk. And Julia Maida coming to the plate, and while they're having a mound visit, a little interesting, well, not interesting, but I mean, well, it is kind of interesting, I guess, however you want to look at it, is we got to give huge props to Julia Maida and Caitlin DeAngelis' parents or mothers who have been here at every single one of our home games, sitting out here in center field. Every time one of their daughters is at the dish, they're taking video of the game, of their players batting. No matter what the weather is, no matter when the home game is, they are here watching their daughters play. That one's hitting the air out of play, and we've got another foot race over to get the softball, and now no one's going to be able to get it. Oh, now someone's finally got it, and they're running back with it. I can't tell who they are. 0-1, on the ground. It's another base hit. I don't know if that's going to score 2. It'll get 1 in, though, and that'll give Post the 3-2 lead. Julia Meda with the RBI single, and Post continuing to bat around. This is what I was talking about in the first game, is they haven't been able to manufacture multiple hits in a game, back to back to back. They're doing that right now as they've gotten, looking at it now, that's 3 hits in this inning. Every other batter, it's either been a walk or a hit. Puopolo still has no control right now. 1-0, the count swung on and missed. Still nobody out this inning. Bases are still juiced with Eagles. Meda, Sakala, Raquelme, your base runners right now. So you got to think, I think another hit, unless deep to the wall, probably only is going to score 1. Sakala again. You got Sakala and Raquelme on second and third. They're not your faster runners on this team. So you may only see them advance the base like you did last at bat. Line drive. Oh, my gosh. What a great play by Puopolo. Helping herself out there. Doubles Meda off of first. Hats off to Maddie Puopolo for that grab. Full extension is able to get that one and then fire it over to first at Maddie Bland. Doubles Meda off first. 2 big outs right there in one batter, and that brings Alyssa Calabrese to the plate. Still with 2 runners in scoring position. Post has the lead now, 3-2. Allen's chopped on the ground towards second. It's bobbled briefly, and briefly enough is going to allow Calabrese to get to first. It might go down as an error, but 2 runs are going to score. As that's going to be an error on Dieter at second, I'm pretty sure. We'll see. Waiting for the official scoring. It is going to be 5-2. I believe Calabrese is going to reach on a fielding error. So those runs unearned. Calabrese does not get credit with a hit. But she will get credit with helping her team out and making it a 5-2 ball game. Puopolo really struggling here. I don't see anybody even loosening for St. Rose, so this looks like it's her game. For the time being, at least, unless they decide they want to go to the bullpen, which they do have pitchers to go to the bullpen, but I don't see anybody getting loose. And it also is possible because this is non-conference, and I believe St. Rose, if I remember correctly, does play all weekend. They're probably going to save some of that pitching. Not that they run out of people, especially with the way softball is. Counts 1-2. 2 outs and 1 on. Fouled off. And the Eagles, with this batter, will bat around for... this might only be, and again, I don't quote me on it because I would have to go through every single inning of every single game. I'm pretty sure this is only the second time this year they'll have batted around the order in a single inning. And that's going to be on the ground to first. Chandler, who is playing first, gets the outside, retired, but not before the Eagles put up 5 runs on 3 hits and 1 error by St. Rose. Post flips the script on this one, 5-2, heading to the second. We're back with the second inning, eh? All right. Dieter up at the dish. St. Rose got 2 in the top of the first on a home run by Bland. Alyssa Hughes, though, now working with the 3-run lead here in the second inning. Again, Post just batted around. All 9 batters reached the plate. The first 5 scored. Hughes deals. It seems like Hughes on these last few pitches has taken a little bit of something off of her pitches. They seem to be coming a little bit slower than we've seen from some of the pitching today. See if she goes back to something a little quicker here. That one's going to be lifted in the air in foul territory. Raquelme going over to get it. Can't. It goes foul. It's count 2-1. Two-one count coming from Hughes here. Popped in the air. I think that's going to get out 2. It will. And the count now even to all. Like we talked about in Game 1, this is the penultimate doubleheader of Post's home schedule. We'll be back here on Wednesday afternoon against Dominican. And looking at the weather forecast, it's not going to be much better than it is right now. It's currently looking like cloudy and 56 degrees for next Wednesday's finale. And for Senior Day Saturday here at Lemoy Field for lacrosses, it's looking like it'll be about 55 and cloudy. But it'll be sunny tomorrow and 61, which has been our luck because we don't have home games on the days where it's nice. That ball was lined foul by Dieter, and we'll do it again. 3-2 the count. 2 out, top second, nobody out. 2 runs for St. Rose. That one's lined in the air down the left field line, foul again, and then it chops over the wall. Dieter spoiling a lot of pitches here against Hughes. I see some water on my computer screen, which indicates to me it might be misting again. Yeah, it is starting to slightly, very ever so slightly start to rain again, as that one's again lifted into left field by Dieter. My guess would be she's trying to get it to left field. That's, I think, 4 foul balls now into the left field seats. We'll do it again. 3-2 the count. Can Dieter spoil off another one? She will. To the left side, nonetheless. And we'll go again. 3-2. Now Dieter's going to lift it somewhere else. No, it's going to go to the left side. And going over to get it is DeAngelis just behind third base. And after all of that, there's one out here in the first. Yeah, the rain is starting to come down now. Just a little bit. We're somewhat protected, but if the wind blows in a different direction, suddenly we're not very protected. That pitch is high from Hughes, 1-0. This is Caitlin Baker, the sophomore outfielder from Southampton, Massachusetts, at the dish. That one's hit towards us in right field. Just foul. The umpires called it foul, but, so did the baseball boys who are out here, too. I believe that's Marshall Thurman who just ruled that ball foul for us. Would have been hard for me to tell from this angle because I see the foul post almost eye level with myself. Count 1-1. That one's going to be pop foul and go to 1-2. Yeah, so as the rain starts to come down, I'll apologize in advance if I mess up any names or miss any names. I've had to close my laptop up just to avoid getting anything else super wet. So if I'm a little bit behind on calling out stats or anything, that is why, because I can't have the stats out right now with the current conditions we are dealing with here at Lemoy Field. I'm pretty sure gotten chillier as the game's gone on. That one's going to be outside for a ball. Count 3-2. Swung on and missed. Baker goes down swinging. Hughes has 2 outs in the inning now. Madison Mueller up to the dish. She had a big game 1. 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs. In the first strike. She got that 2-run dub, a single in the second inning after that weird sequence of events earlier that got the runner on with 1 out on the walk by Caldwell. That one's going to be in there for a strike. Count 0-2. Oh, 2, swung on and grounded to Maeda at second. She fires over to first. That's going to be late anyways. It's going to go down as a hit more than likely. I don't know for sure, but bang, bang play at first. I don't know if they would have got Mueller because she was speeding down the base path on that one. Pitch is outside for a ball. Want to know, I believe that's Schaub at the dish. Again, I can't see and I don't have the stats up right now because of the rain. Second pitch is outside for ball. 2-0. Schaub swings at that one. It's fouled away. 2-1 now.
I played, well, like youth hockey would be both. High school I played out of the Bethel range. So yeah. I like the South. This is South range.
He was taking her time, delivers, and that one's going to be a ball. So 3-1. They checked down to the first base ump, and they said Schaub did not go. 3-1. Runner on first. 2 down. Hughes paints the outside corner with inside corner with that one for a strike. 3-2. Three-two low and in the dirt, and she knew it. Schaub was already walking out of the batter's box after that pitch was thrown. She knew that was going low, and now Hughes in a bit of trouble. The tying run at the plate. Ellen Fuda coming to the plate. It was low for a ball, 1-0. I see our photographer for the day over on the first base line standing on one of the water coolers for the athletic trainers to get better shots of our athletes in game number 2 here. That one's fouled away for 1-1 count. 1-1 count. High for ball, 2-1. Hughes has really spent a lot of pitches this inning, working around these hitters. Still a 5-2 game, though, as that one's lined into left field. Foul. I tell you, we've seen a lot of balls go to left field in that fashion, like hard hit line drives. They always go foul just because of the way the dimensions of the field are, but it's kind of interesting. You see so many get sprayed to that side compared to the right field line. You don't really see many go that way over here at Lemoy Field. Wind is blowing from left to right in our direction on the field. That would be left to right to left. That one's going to be lined in the center field. Going over to try and grab it is nobody. I'm sorry. I thought that was deeper than it was. Peruso cuts off Rickard Dooley. That's going to end up being a double, though. 2 runs are going to come in. And, man, I think we're in for a high-scoring affair in game number 2. If that was an indication or anything. Fuda, 2 RBI double. 5-4 post. And a shout-out to the 7 people watching right now on YouTube. You guys are crushing it. Y'all just came in the last few minutes and are watching for an average of 23 minutes. I don't think I'm that entertaining to spend 23 minutes of time, but I could be wrong. Grace wants to hop on the mic. Maybe in the 3rd inning we'll do that. That one's in there for a strike. Count 1-1. To my left, Sierra is doing squats to stay warm. Or bird dips on one leg. I can't really figure it out of the corner of my eye. That one's lined into left field. Rickard Dooley picks it, and that's going to score a run. It's now tied up as Kelsey Higgins is on second. It's only a single because she advanced on the throw. But just like that, we now have a 5-5 game. And a runner on second still. Alyssa Hughes struggling in this inning to retire St. Rose and get out of it. I will say from this angle, and I said it at the start of the inning, it does seem like compared to the other pitchers we've seen today, Hughes does seem to have less speed on her pitches, and it seems like St. Rose is able to time them up a little bit better than what we saw with Caldwell. Not that they didn't hit Caldwell well, because they hit her pretty well too, but it seemed like Caldwell had a little more velocity behind her pitches than we've seen from Hughes in this inning. And St. Rose is able to time it because they're hitting a lot of these balls pretty hard, and that's another hard hit one, but Calabrese right there to make the grab. 5-5, though, after just an inning and a half. Long way to go in this one, but we'll bring all the action for you. 5.5 innings still of fun to go here from Lemoy Field in game number 2. Second inning, and Rickard Dooley right away on the ground. Man, wasting no time. Every time I come back from a break, it seems like somebody's hitting the ball right away. Rickard Dooley, though, fouls that one off. Count is 0-1. Looks like the mist has slowly subsided, so I may try and pull out my laptop again in a few moments to look at the updated stats. fully bundled up here. Everybody's wearing long jackets, wearing blankets, wearing hoods, wearing other attire. That one is outside for a ball to Rick Cardulli. 2-1. Another one inside, 3-1 now. So, I mean, this is shaping up like inning number 1, where Pupolo just really... Pupolo got some help with that out that she got on the line drive to double the runner off first. And, oh, man, that's just a tough play there for Schaub. Hit on the laces by Rick Cardulli. I don't know how that one's going to be scored because it was scorched at her glove, but also she dropped it and she had it secured. And let's just keep it going. Caitlin DeAngelis now to the dish. It looks like that's going to go down as a hit. Yeah, so that's a hit. 1-0 count to DeAngelis. Again, the Eagles got their first, I believe it was 5 runners on base before retiring. A batter got retired. It might have been 6. And St. Rose has not shown any signs of going to somebody else or even warming somebody up. They're just hoping Pupolo can figure it out. And I mean, Rick Cardulli should have been out on that last one, but the line drive was dropped. And now Pupolo ahead in the count 1-2. She's working quickly. That was lined off the glove of Chandler. I mean, that's just unlucky. That's back-to-back plays where St. Rose had pretty much definite outs, and it just took an unlucky hop off the glove. Now, is it an unlucky hop because maybe it's wet, the ball's wet, and it's just like slippery off the leather of the glove? Possibly. Lily Tomasello now, we're on home run watch for her. She had a home run in game number 1. Tomasello is 2-0 this year when the SID yells down to her, please give me a home run this game. Did it against Chestnut Hill and then today in game number 1. It's fouled back and it's quickly 0-2. Again, Tomasello with the home run in game 1, 8 home runs on the year, 1 away from tying the program record for a single season at 9. That one's lined up the middle. It's another base hit. That one's going to go all the way to the wall. Picking it up is Baker. Baker fires in. Tomasello hustling in the second with a double. Standing up. Lily Tomasello, I believe, is now halfway to the cycle. I'm sorry. She is not halfway to the cycle. She got hit by a pitch in her first at bat. I thought she singled in her first at bat. Again, don't have the stats out in front of me. But Post now has retaken the lead 6-5. Again, St. Rose really just unlucky on those first 2 plays. A lot of nice line drives here, though. The Eagles are making very good contact against Pupolo. And now Jenny Raquelme at the plate. Behind in the count 0-1 after she fouled that one off. Now it's a 1-1 count. You know, at the rate we're going, we may see a football score on the scoreboard by the end of the day. Chopped towards third. Raquelme is going to be out, no problem at first, but the run is going to score, make it a 7-5 game. Tomasello moves up to third. Eagles lead by 2. And there's only 1 out still. Now, if Sakala can lift one deep enough into the outfield, Tomasello could probably score. A shallow fly ball will not, and that might score her. Yeah, she's going to end up scoring on this. So Sakala hits into a ground out, but it pays off. The bases are cleared, 2 outs, and Post has put up 3 more runs in this inning, 8-5. And still 1 out to work with. Crazy 2 innings so far. I mean, I don't think we've seen this many combined runs to start a game this year at home. And now both teams have combined for 13 over the course of 2 innings. Multiply that over the course of an entire game. That's a lot of runs that I'm not doing the math in my head for right this second, but yeah, that would be 39 runs across the first 6 innings possibly at the rate we're going.
He jumped up a wall and he fell off the wall. The wall's like this big, and he broke his back and he was paralyzed.
It's in there for a strike. 2-1.
Isn't that crazy? That's the most random thing anyone's ever said to me. I know my dog can walk again.
Base is empty for Maida.
We had to go to
Low and in the dirt, 3-1.
the vet to get laxatives because he couldn't pee and poo, and he started just shitting everywhere, all over the house, off the walls. The run was fucking.
We're about 40 minutes into this game. Start about 4:15. We're approaching the 5 o'clock hour. Very slow-moving game because, again, we've had a lot of runs scored in these first couple of innings, and neither pitcher has shown signs of settling in, unfortunately.
Drop it.
As Maida pops that one out to center field, Baker retires her. End of 2. It's 8-5 post. Welcome back, Lemoy Field. We're only in the 3rd inning, folks, and we've already got 13 combined runs. It's 8-5 post. They trailed 2-0, put up 5 in the bottom of the 1st, then gave up 3 in the top of the 2nd. And now as we head to the 3rd inning, Alyssa Hughes is going to throw that one in there, and it's lined into center field. Carly Peruso perusing the outfield for that out. 1 down.
Hannah, do you have first keys? Aye. Just want them? Just want them? Ready? Can I drop it? Oh.
I'm catching keys in the press box. Pitcher's outside for a ball, 1-0.
Just let some driver parties.
Top of the 3rd, 1 out. Haven't been able to pull out the live stats yet. So, again, if I'm behind on who's batting, I believe that's Frazee. That is why. Because we can't see clearly who exactly is at bat when they come to the plate because of the distance. Actually, I believe that's Smith. Outside for a ball.
The amount of time I almost been hit by a car here.
2-1. Hughes takes her time on the mound to get settled and throw, as Pupolo is a lot quicker with her motion and going at the batter, attacking them. Hughes, I think, is also trying to keep the ball dry as well. Swung on and missed, and that's 2 away. That was, in fact, Frazee, not Smith. Frazee retired, 2 away. We might have a first 1-2-3 inning of the game. Now Alexandra Dieter coming to the dish. See if she can get something started for St. Rose here with 2 outs and nobody on in the top of the 3rd. That one's in there for a strike, 0-1. This would be the first half inning where we've seen a pitcher be able to settle in and really attack these hitters and get them out. as that one is fouled into left field. Rick Arduli giving chase, but it's over near the porta potties on the top of the hill. 0-2 count. Hughes 1 strike away from getting the first donut on the scoreboard. No. One is low for a ball, 1-2. 1-2 coming from Hughes. Taking her time, finds her pitch, fires, lined into left field, foul. It's got to be the at least like 10th time in these first couple of innings that we've seen that ball go to left field. Foul. With that much speed and power to it. So we'll do it again with the 1-2 count. Hughes fires, lined into left field again. That one's staying fair, and Rick Arduli picks it up, and a little awkward spin move right there, but gets it in. It's only going to be a single for Dieter. So once again, we're not going to have a 1-2-3 inning, as St. Rose will see if they can get something going here. Caitlin Baker coming to the dish. Hughes sets and fires high for a ball, 1-0. This doubleheader and the Dominican one have the makings of two very winnable matchups for Post, which we'd love to see, as that one's lined into right field for Baker. It's a single, and now just like that, the tying run is at the plate. That's Madison Muller, who had a big game one, like I mentioned before, with 3 RBIs. Seeing what she can do in game number 2 to help her team out on the scoreboard. That one is outside for a ball, 1-0. He's trying to escape some trouble here, as that one's low in the dirt, 2-0. Hughes delivers, and that one's lifted deep in the left field. I don't think it's staying fair, though, and if it had stayed fair, that was gone. Hughes nearly avoiding what would have been the game-tying home run. It's 2-1 count instead. Yeah, that one looked like it had the distance on it, just didn't have the makings of a fair ball. Hughes delivers again, and that was going to be popped up on the infield. DeAngelis makes the grab. No runs for the first time in an inning. 5-8, Post leads at the bottom of the third. All right, bottom 3. No runs for St. Rose in the top of the third. If Post can add 5 more to their total in the next few innings and not allow any more, that would also be a mercy rule. It is freezing up here and getting colder by the minute. I can't feel my toes at this point. One's fouled away.
Watch it. Hey. Watch it. Watch it. Watch it. Watch it. I'll fucking bat it. Oh, you're right. You missed a few actually. Yeah.
Swung on and missed now, 0-2 the count. Believe that's Calabrese at the dish. That's that for ball 1-2. 1-2 coming, swung on and missed. Down on strikes. I'm sorry, Calabrese is up now. That was Brianna Hines at the dish. Again, a little bit of a problem seeing these numbers with the distance we are at and not being able to have the live stats out right now because of the weather conditions. It looks like the rain has subsided. Finally, Puffalo, though, gets the first out of the inning. Her first time starting an inning off with a out. First batter of each of the first 2 innings reached safely for Post. That one swung on and fouled off. Post looking for their first win since last week in game number 2 against Chestnut Hill College.
No, I said Haiti. No, you're just saying the same thing.
This is a dogfight of a game right now, though, in only the 3rd inning. It's 8-5. Buffalo deals on the ground to first. Picking that up is Chandler. She just steps on the bag, and there's 2 away.
It's Hattie and Haiti. Harry and Harry. No, you just said the same thing. No, it's the same thing. No, it's not though. It's different. Then what? I'm not. Harry, Harry.
And now Carly Peruso at the plate.
No, you're silly. What language do you speak?
Behind the count 0-1. Buffalo looking to see if she can go 1-2-3 in this inning.
Oh, not this shit.
And send this game to the 4th. In a 3-run game. Peruso lifts that one into left field. It looks like it's tailing foul. It does. 0-2. Swung on and missed by Peruso. And that ends the inning. 1-2-3 go the Eagles. We head to the 4th. 8-5 Post. Welcome back to Lemoy Field. I'm Mike Vesey. I'm cold, and I'm in the 4th inning of game number 2 of this doubleheader between Post and St. Rose. But we're trucking along here. That last inning lasted about 10 minutes, after the first 2 innings lasted about 40 minutes. We're almost an hour deep into the game. But it is only 5 o'clock, so we still have 2 hours of sunlight no matter how long this game may go. Lined on the ground, foul. Count 1-1. Again, 7 innings being played in game number 2, just like game number 1, just like every softball game, as long as We don't go to extras. It's outside for a ball. I intentionally was adding that in there as well because Sierra to my left just asked if we were playing 9 innings, and we don't play 9 innings in softball. But these two teams did play 9 innings in game number 2 last year, in which Post scored 13 runs in that 9th inning to win that game. Count is now 3-1. I'm all good, Grace. Grace is giving out Starburst to everyone up here. If you want to come down to Lemoy Field and get a Starburst, she's got about 10 left. They're going fast, and it's the 4th inning, so you better get down here fast if you want to see the end of this one. There's still plenty of good seats available on the infield. That pitch is outside for a ball, and the leadoff hitter walks for St. Rose. I mean, truthfully, no lead in this game feels like it's going to be safe because both teams' offenses have been clicking, and the pitchers have not been able to quite get into a groove. We saw them get into a groove last inning by getting there, and that one's way out of here. I'm not even going to say anything else. That one's gone. Long shot gone, out of here. Ellen Fuda interrupts exactly what I was just talking about, is that neither pitcher has been able to figure out how to stop the opposite's offense until the 3rd. And now it's a 1-run game again, 8-7 in favor of Post. Not 10-7, not 10-5 Post. That was a 2-run home run for St. Rose, Jack. So it's 8-7, 8-7 Post still. It's getting late in the day, and so we're kind of waning, especially with this cold weather.
So Hannah, no cap? Why no cap? I don't know. You didn't give an answer. I did. I said I like 4 times. You did? Yeah. He's hungry.
And that one's lifted in the air to left field, and that's a long ways out of here. Is it fair? No. So a very long foul ball, but like I mentioned last half inning and the inning before that, it seems like Hughes' pitches don't have as much velocity as some of the other pitching that we saw from Caldwell in game 1. And in turns, we're seeing these St. Rose hitters turn on these pitches a lot more. That one's low and in the dirt for a ball, 1-1. Both teams' hitters have been really lighting into the ball at every chance they get. That one's low for ball, 2-1.
Trumbull. It's like 30, 35. It's close to the ring. Like 10 minutes from the ring. Yeah. But towards the Sacred Heart ring.
Eagles holding on barely right now. But again, this game is far from over. The scoring on both sides is I'm going to tell you right now, far from over. Both teams, I think, are going to hit 10-plus runs in this game, folks. I know there's no betting at the D2 level, but if you could place a bet, I'd place a bet on the over-under of 20 runs being over. Line back up the middle. It's going to be got by DeAngelis at short. She fires over to first for the second out of the inning. Taking out the stats again as the rain has subsided completely. That one is in there for a strike. Hughes is already at 80 pitches now, and it's only the 4th inning. I mean, again, softball, because the natural arm motion, for those of you who don't know at home, is underhand, can pitch multiple days in a row, go 100, 200 pitches even, however many they want. It's the baseball players who can't do that as frequently because the overarm motion is not a natural motion to do, and it puts more stress on the ligaments and tendons. Hence why you see a lot more pitchers in baseball go down with UCL or PCL injuries, or even, I believe it's PCL injuries. Might have my different ones mixed up because there's MCLs, UCLs, ACLs. There's a bunch of different ones. That would be a better question for our athletic trainer Donovan in the dugout to ask about all the ligaments in the arm. But whatever ones it is that could require you to end up having to get Tommy John surgery, there's more of a chance of doing that with baseball than there is softball because of the arm motion that you do between the two sports. 3-1 count. There's still only one down here as that pitch is in there for a strike. Count goes full to Bland. Looking at the stats right now because I finally got them pulled up, it is the top of the lineup doing all the work. Ellen Fuda, 3 for 3, 4 RBIs. Higgins with 1 RBI. Bland with 2 at the dish right now. 3-2 count coming. Bland fouls that one backwards. Count remains 3-2. This game's slowly moving along. Game 1 was about an hour 30 minutes or so, hour 40. This game right on pace for about two hours or so. We are an hour and 5 minutes deep at this point. Three-two count from Hughes again. She's taking her time, wiping the ball off because it's stopped raining, but the field doesn't just magically get dry. It is still very wet. Popped up, and that's out of play. Raquelme can't go into the dugout to grab that because it's over the dugout. So we'll do it all again. 3-2. 1 out. Top 4. Still 8-7 post.
Where is the camera? It's gone.
3-2, Bland lines that one deep and off the bottom of the wall. Peruso grabs it in the second, sliding his Bland with a double, and St. Rose is just continuing to pound Hughes with hits here in this 4th inning. This is going to be Chandler coming to the plate, Madison Chandler. That one's on the ground to DeAngelis. That's going to be a tough play over at first. They get the out. I mean, Chandler was hustling down the line. I think I see our a friend of the program and Grace Glassard's brother, Tanner Glassard, up there on the third base side. It is. He's hard to miss because he's pretty much taller than any of the athletes here, other than maybe Trey DeLory, his teammate. He's taller than Trey, I just found out. So Tanner Glassard is the unofficial, because I would have to check every roster, tallest. No, you're right. Kyle Alsey is the tallest. Swung on and missed. Count 1-1. This is what we do in Game 2 of a doubleheader of a long, cold afternoon here of softball. Again, runner on second. She's the tying run. That's Bland with the double. That one's lying on the ground, foul. This is Frazee at the plate. One-two count. Sierra to my left. If you didn't hear that on the mic, I think it did pick it up, though. It said she was going into hypothermic shock. It is cold. It's not that cold. But it is still pretty brutal to be out here for 5 hours in a row in the elements with the wind kind of on and off going. Hughes, though, in a 1-2 count, trying to get out of this inning. Line drive, base hit, and that may tie the game. Bland's going to hustle around third. She's going to score. It's an RBI single for Marin Frazee, and we're tied back up at 8. It's only the 4th inning.
That's
You know, we're talking about being cold and out here for a while. Tanner's out there in short sleeves. I don't know how. But we did see the entire men's ice hockey team taking a nice jaunt around the back roads here of the university prior to the start of the game in the rain. They were very hyped up. You can catch them back at the ice rinks down in Shelton in October and November. We don't have the schedule yet. That one's popped deep in the center field, but Perusa's going to have room, and that'll retire the side. But St. Rose strikes for 3, 8-8, bottom 4 coming up. Back at it like a bad habit here in the 4th inning. We're tied up at 8.
Maybe like not the ceremony like before the game, but like as a team.
Got Sam Ricarduli, the top of the lineup. This is the 3rd out of 4 innings that the top of the lineup has been up for post. The 1st, 2nd, and now the 4th, they've had the top of the lineup up, which is insane. And Ricarduli now has got her 2nd hit of the game. She's 2 for 2 with a walk, and right behind her, who's also 2 for 2, Caitlin DeAngelis, who's only gotten out once today. So if we win this game, we're definitely going to have to talk to her afterwards, and might have to talk to a bunch of people depending on how this game shakes up. Everybody's getting in on the action offensively, and we've not been able to do too many home interviews this year with our softball team because we don't get a lot of wins. We don't really want to interview players after losses because it's a lot tougher sometimes when you lose a game to have a good, productive interview because it's hard. You don't like losing, and it's never fun afterwards. That one just narrowly misses some cars in the parking lot. 2 strikes to DeAngelis. Tomasello on deck. She's 1 for 1, and again, we're on home run watch for her. And that one's lined down the left field line, foul. Count remains 0-2. Again, this is going to be Hughes and Puffalo's game. Neither team is warming anybody up, and it's just they're going for broke with these two. To see how things shake out as DeAngelis fouls yet another one off. Count remains 0-2. Chopped on the ground again, foul to the left side. We'll do it again. Puffalo coming into this at bat at 69 pitches. Nobody out as Ricarduli led off with a single, and that one's up high for a ball. 1-2. One, two in the dirt, 2-2. Eagles looking to get some runs back after allowing 3 more in the top of the 4th. We had 1 scoreless inning, but every other inning, every inning that a run has been scored by the visitors in St. Rose, Post has answered back with runs. So it would only be inevitable then, it seems, that we're going to see some runs from Post here in the 4th to keep the pattern going. 2-2. Line by DeAngelis, foul. Lady Rivera, the former, I believe, 6-year player for the softball team, finished out her career last year. Tried to make a barehanded play on that. I believe, if I remember correctly, yeah. She has told me, Mike, can you add another at-bat to my career? Because I was one away from 600. I told her, lady, you shouldn't have broken your wrist or whatever injury it was down in Florida. And you could have gotten that last at-bat. Or take one less walk. All in fun jest, though. 3-2 count. DeAngelis back to the screen. 3-2 it remains. Popolo sets, delivers. DeAngelis lifts that one into center field. That's going to be caught by Baker. No one's going to move. Rick Arduli won't move there, and she'll stay put. And now Lily Tomasello coming to the dish. You know what's very interesting to me is watching these outfielders is how they shade some of these post hitters. When we were watching Chestnut Hill play, they were shading Bailey Dickinson near the wall, and Dickinson hasn't really hit for power so much this year. Whereas I'm watching St. Rose's defensive alignment, and they're more in on Tomasello, who's been bashing the ball into the wall all day. Which is why I'm kind of surprised at how they're shading. Now they heard me, I think, because now all of a sudden I see Baker backed up about 7 steps in center. 0-2 is taken outside for a ball. Meanwhile, Higgins is a little bit closer, and now Higgins is backed up a few steps. Now everybody's backed up several steps. I mean, I know they probably heard me, but I also don't know if maybe they didn't realize who was at the plate, and maybe that's why, but that was near the wall. Oh, my, what a catch! Emma Schaub. That was a great play by Schaub over the fence, which, I mean, that fence is not short. That fence is probably 8 feet high if I had to roughly estimate. And she was able to reach that glove over and get it. That's about a Tanner Glassroot and a half high, and she was able to scale it and get it. Raquelme now lines up into left field. That's going to dunk down a base hit, but it's too deep. It was hit too hard, too fast to the left fielder in Muller to get Rick Arduli over to third. So it'll be first and second now, and now Sakala at the plate.
And then he'd also go for walks in negative 30 degree weather, the potential. Did you ever see a bear chasing him during his run or something? You ever seen a bear chase guys?
In there for a strike. Sakala behind the count 0-1.
He took a video of it. I have video evidence of it.
Now Sakala down on the count 0-2.
Zero, were you here in 2021, 2022? Yes. Do you remember when the bear was on campus?
0-2 swung on and missed. That's going to end this half inning. We'll head to the top of the 5th. We're still tied at 8-all. Popolo gets out of that inning after allowing 2 hits to the Eagles, and Alyssa Hughes will come out to start the 5th inning. Back and forth game so far for both teams, and there's a lot more game to go. We see Brooke Dickinson jogging behind us. Brooke, what's the morale like in the dugout right now? Brooke says the morale's really high in the dugout right now, as the Eagles try and get a win in game number 2. We're tied at 8-all right now.
My teammates went out, and I think they took a picture of, like, Julia or Kirsten, and it's like, oh, bear sighting, and it was just one of them.
That's funny. Wasn't there a mountain lion here too?
I think so. We also
Currently, during this half inning, if you can hear it on the mics, we are talking about wild animals that have apparently made an appearance on campus in recent years. Not this year, but in the past. Apparently, we've had bears mountain lions, a pet skunk.
Dead.
Like it was literally he always was around. Like
Apparently the new post mascot one year was the a skunk that Grace Glassroot has seemed to have adopted during one of the years, but I haven't seen any wildlife at. Like, oh no, we had a mouse. We had a mouse earlier this year.
last year there was also when there was the skunk, there was a white and black cat, so you always were scared of which
As Alyssa Hughes is
Dude, every time we have lax practice out here, we see the hawk with a rat.
back on the mound. I believe that is Caitlin Baker at the dish. Yeah, that is. I think there was a there was a defensive change. Madison Caldwell is now. This is an interesting change. So Tomasello stays at first. Caldwell moves to second. Maida to third. Maida to short. DeAngelis to third. So that means not Maida. Jenny Raquelme came out of the game. She was playing at third.
And if we miss the calf, we're going to Chipotle. You better not miss the calf. No, honestly.
you'd rather go to Chipotle.
Taking a lot of time here in between innings. Raquelme, it looks like, is actually getting ready to throw behind us. Yeah, Jenny Raquelme coming out to throw in the outfield. I guess the bullpens must be a little messy.
Have you ever tried their green pepper?
So they're going to go out there. Jenny, what's morale like in the dugout right now? Yeah, so Jules Sakala and Jenny are confirming that, quote, we are up in the dugout.
Hey, you know what's crazy? It's still tied.
We're- They're having a little bit of a conversation with Raquelme and Sakala, as we may see Jenny Raquelme at some point in this game, the way it's going with both teams. I mean, no one's able to get the upper hand, but also neither team's pitching has exactly been good. Like, to put it bluntly, neither team's pitching has done a very good job of shutting down their opponent. Puopolo's kind of reined it in a bit. Hughes reined it in for an inning and a half, but otherwise it's been hit or miss. What a great play there on the bunt by DeAngelis to retire Baker at first. And then they go and throw it around the horn and made him miss the ball. And it doesn't go down, obviously, as an error. There's one away, and now coming to the dish is Muller, as Sierra continues to shake the entire press box level by jumping up and down. It's kind of unstable up here, so all the boards just kind of move if you move. 0-1 count. That one's hitting the air deep to left field, and oh man, just like game one, Sam Ricarduli gets back in the warning track. This one doesn't go overhead, and this time she doesn't crash into the fences hard, but she makes the grab for out number 2.
Have you ever thought that a butterfly might want to get attached?
So 2 outs, and it's Schaub at the dish. Emma Schaub, 5th inning. We're still tied at 8, and I actually think the sun is trying to come out somewhere. Man, that would be nice if it came out because of how cold it's been. But I see the sky lightening up a bit, so maybe we won't have any more rain.
Oh my god, it'll go up by 1 degree soon.
Our resident weather woman, Sierra Tarantino, just told us it's going to go up 1 degree, so that 44 is going to feel like 45 pretty soon. And man, will it be balmy, I hope, because I still can't feel my feet for the most part, and my hands are slowly going by the minute. My sanity might be going a little bit, too, on this broadcast in game number 2, but
Tanner just said, why you guys bundled up? It's not that bad.
that one was fouled off, and it's now a 1-2 count.
Someone must have been going a 3-mile run this morning. Whatever it was.
Hughes trying to work a 1-2-3 inning. The last time she had a shot to do that, a few runners did get on. That one's in the dirt for a ball. 2-2. You had a pitch to waste there, if you're Hughes. And again, Raquelme looks like she's ready to go whenever. We'll see if as she's leaving to go back towards the dugout, if we can ask her how ready she is to go out there and pitch as that one's outside for a ball. 3-2 count.
We're so close. We're almost there. If they stay tied though.
3-2, swung on a miss. Hughes escapes the inning, and that will do it. So, 1-2-3 inning. We're still tied at 8. Head to the bottom of the 5th. You heard it. Well, you probably didn't because you can't hear it from out here, but Julia Maida's at the plate. We heard the Let's Go Girls. That signals that she's up, her walk-up song, as that one's outside for a ball, 1-0. Raquelme still warming up to our backs. No one warming up for St. Rose, so this is Pupelo's game. The sun coming out to our right a little, and that one's lined up the middle. Everything is going well right now as Maida gets on base with a leadoff single and post in business here in the bottom of the 5th. Brianna Hines now to the plate. 0 for 2 on the day with a strikeout. That one is in there for a strike. Being in the outfield like this and having the players right near you is kind of a fun experience because of how loose and fun of an environment it is, even though obviously you're trying to win games. You have moments that we just had between innings and during innings where sometimes the outfielders will interact with you, and at other times when you have people like your players from post coming by, you can kind of chat with them a little and have some fun with it, because at the end of the day, these are more than just ball players too. They are, you know, in some cases our coworkers who work with us at other games when they're not on the field, and they're friends of other student athletes who are helping us too. So it's all just a fun environment. And again, shout out to the 8 people watching us on YouTube still. In the say a quick hi to Cam Tardini, who just said hi in the chat to us. Thanks for joining us, Cam, as Kelsey Higgins retires Hines for the first outing, and now bring Alyssa Calabrese to the plate. Like I said in game number 1, do you got any questions about Post Athletics? You want to just chat with us? Drop it in the chat on YouTube. We'll get to you because why not? That one's in there for a strike. 0-1 to Calabrese. Clouds starting to break on the right side of the field. Well, our right side, the left side of everybody else. 0-2 count coming to Calabrese. Runner on first with 1 out. And a shout out to Anna Stefanidis for taking photos for us during these games as well. She's walking over here with the camera as we speak. That one's popped in the air. It's going to stay on the infield. Going over to get it is Chandler, 2 away. I'll bring Peruso, the bottom of the lineup, up. That one's lined towards us, and that's going to dunk in. It's a base hit.
Go 3.
And, oh, man, Maida overran second. But it's fine. She gets back safely. First and second, top of the lineup now coming up. Now Sam Ricarduli, who's 2 for 2, comes to the plate. Top 2 hitters for Post have 2 hits each. And DeAngelis and Ricarduli. Pitch. And therefore a strike. 0-2. That one goes foul, and count remains 0-2.
Let's go, Jenny! Let's go!
As Raquelme is done warming, so we'll see if she comes in the next half inning.
I have purse. She's done warming. I have purse.
8 runs, 10 hits, 1 error for St. Rose. 8 runs, 10 hits, no errors for Post. Ricarduli lifts that one into left. It's going to be caught over there by Muller. Side retired. So Post gets 2 on, can't do anything with it. 6th inning, 8-8. Top of the lineup coming up for St. Rose. We're still tied at 8. That one's going to be hit into left field, and Ricarduli grabs it on the ground. It's a base hit for Fuda. She is 4 for 4 with 4 RBIs. She is a big reason why St. Rose is in this game right now, because she's got half of their runs scored. That one's in the dirt for a ball, 1-0. Hughes at 106 pitches, now 1-7. We are tied at 8. And that one's laced on the ground. Again, I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again, but these St. Rose hitters are absolutely teeing off on some of these pitches that Hughes is giving them. And they're hitting the ball very hard in game number 2, just as Post has been. Puffalo, though, has seemed to settle down over the last several innings. She's run into trouble and found a way out of it. And now Alyssa Hughes has to find a way to get out of trouble herself in this one. You can't give up a big inning here. Like, giving up 1 run isn't the worst thing in the world. You don't want to give up the runs at all because it's a tie game right now, but giving up 1 is not, a death sentence by any means with how this game has been, but you have to limit the St. Rose offense here, and this has the makings of a dangerous inning early on with 2 on and nobody out still. Hughes delivers in the dirt for a ball. The sun is finally peeking through the clouds. A gloomy, gloomy afternoon ending on a high note, and maybe it'll even end on a high note too for the Eagles, if they can find a way to win this. But Hughes has just walked the batter, and now the bases are loaded. Madison Chandler now to the dish. Sierra hitting the gritty up here. We had a dance party in between innings to stay warm to Darude Sandstorm, because that's what they were playing on the loudspeaker. Just had a little visit on the mound, so we're waiting. I think if Riquelme comes in too, you might see a catcher change, because you will see that sometimes. Certain pitchers like to use certain catchers because they just have a good rhythm with them. And Hughes and Hines seem to be that battery. And then I think Sakala seems to have it with a few others, as that one's lined into center field. Peruso, a diving grab. I mean, it's going to score a run, but still, Carly Peruso with a top 10 play there. Clip it, put it in the end of the year Swoopies video. Carly Peruso with a nice diving catch for the first out of the inning. Beautiful dive there. Again, run scores, but this is what I was just talking about. It's like it doesn't really matter if you only give up one. You just can't give up a big inning here, and Hughes has to find a way now to navigate these last two outs. That one's chopped on the ground, and that'll do it. Nope, it's foul. Which at first it looked fair to me from this angle, and I don't know if DeAngelis thought it was too, but man, that's too bad. And then she short-armed the throw that double bounced over to Tomasello at first. So Hughes nearly almost escaped the inning right there. First and second, though, it's an 0-1 count instead. It's still only one out. Swung on and missed. 0-2. This is Frazee at the plate.
Oh, good old lock.
How much character that would build?
Good old locker box.
Do you know how little drama would be on the girls' team if you could locker box?
Who says you can't?
0-2 from Hughes. Just misses the outside corner. 1-2.
Fine.
I know men's lacrosse and I think they were the main team that would locker box in high school. I don't know if men's.
Hughes delivers. That one's popped up in foul territory. DeAngelis ranging over. Snow coned, and then I think it popped out and went. I don't know if she actually caught that or if it just went over the fence. Very hard to tell from my angle. Part of me thinks it popped out of her glove and went over, but it's also a very tough angle for me to see with depth perception and everything. So it remains 1-2. Nearly got the out there for the second of the inning, but Hughes will do it again now. First and second with a 0-2 count. 1-2 count. Low in the dirt, 2-2, and they're going to take her off for second and third. Double steal was on, and that's going to get runners now into scoring position with only one out. Again, you can't have a big inning here if you're Post and allow too many runs. If I had to guess at the rate this one is going, if Post is able to score some in the bottom of the sixth, I'm going to guess Riquelme, if they are in the lead, is going to come in for the save opportunity. That's just a guess, especially with Hughes at 113 now. That pitch is outside for a ball. 3-2 the count. Again, a walk isn't the worst thing in the world, though, because it loads up the bases played at any base. We talked about it in game number 1 and why that was important. Similar situation here. Outfielders shading a little bit farther back. Calabrese about 10 steps to my right. The left. Peruso a little bit more shallow, and then Ricarduli hugging towards the line a little bit. This count remains full. Hughes delivers, fouled off again. The sun did come out for a moment, and now it disappeared again, unfortunately. at this time of year, if there is any sun, it does warm things up quite a bit. So the sun would be very welcome right now. 3-2 doing it again with Hughes, and she hit her. Hughes hits the batter, and it works almost the same as a walk on a 3-2 count, and now the bases are loaded with Golden Knights. Now to bring Dieter to the plate, and she's had herself a day in Game 1. She's only 1 for 3 today in Game 2, but she showed in Game 1 she can really swing the bat when needed, and she's got a chance to do some damage here, and the Eagles cannot afford to let this one get out of reach with only 2 innings to go. It's already 9-8. You got to cap it, I think, at no more than 2, especially because you have the middle of your lineup coming up. That's going to be your chance to get some runs back, but you can't do it if they can't get the outs here. And that's going to be trouble. That's gone. Dieter does the damage. It's a grand slam. And St. Rose leads by 5. Well, it was exactly what I talked about earlier on in the inning. You can't afford to give up the big hit and give up a few runs. 1 run's fine, but 4 more on top of that makes this one a little bit tougher to come back from now. It's a 5-run game. You've got 6 outs to play with. The Eagles have been silenced by Puopolo over the last 4. But they've had their chances. That is the one big takeaway, but they're going to have to do some work if they want to get back into this one and avoid being swept at home. And they also have to avoid giving up any more runs, because if this gets to 8, then they have to get runs in the bottom of the 6th or else the game ends. Caitlin Baker now to the dish. She's 1 for 3. Pitches high for a ball. 5-run inning. 8 unanswered runs for St. Rose. They trailed 8-5 and have now scored 8 straight runs. Popped in the air. Shading back to get it is Maeda, and she drops it. That'll be an error. Baker reaches first on the drop fly ball by Maeda. Just a little too casual with it, and it came off the side of the glove. And the inning's going to continue on for St. Rose. That one's hitting the air, and it goes foul. 0-1, the count. Hughes now at 127 pitches. Oh, 1 line into center field. Peruso, who made 1 great play, makes 2. Carly Peruso is having a highlight reel 6th inning. I mean, I hate to say it, but without Peruso's 2 big diving catches here, this inning is still 0 outs, and probably 2 more runs have crossed the plate for St. Rose. And I don't mean that in a negative way about all folks, but Carly Peruso has saved this one from getting even worse. Popped in the air. This should do it for the inning if it stays in play. It doesn't, though, and it goes behind the dugout. Depth perception got me again there. Oh and 1, 2 outs, runner on first. 4 Eagles have multi-hit games so far, but the bottom 3 are a combined 1 for 9. St. Rose, on the other hand, just 3 batters without hits. Everybody's reached base in some capacity, though. Other than Chandler, but she's got an RBI, so something offensive happening for every single player. That one's fouled off of the foot of Schaub, it looks like, and she's in some pain, but see if she can shake it off. I mean, that stings, especially in the cold weather. If her feet are cold like mine are right now, to take a ball square off the foot like that on a foul pitch cannot feel any amount. Not that it would feel good if she was warm right now. It can't feel good at all, but it feels a lot worse when you're cold and you take contact like that against your feet or any part of your body. So Shaw is being looked at, and while she's being looked at, let's kind of go over, if you're just joining us, what happened in this one. So St. Rose took a 2-0 lead early on. Post came back with 5 in the bottom of the first because everybody was reaching base to start this game against Buffalo. And then in the second, St. Rose comes back and ties it with 3. Post gets 3 more in the bottom of the second, makes it 8-5 on 2 groundouts, by the way, as well. St. Rose ties it up with 4 in the third, and then in this inning, it was still tied up at 8-all. And the wheels just continued to fall off the wagon, unfortunately, for the Post defense. A couple of errors, a couple of hits, and a couple of just missed opportunities to get out of the inning have resulted in this being now a 5-run game after the grand slam by Dieter. But this game has had all kinds of twists and turns to it, so, I mean, this is far from over, folks. In the bottom of the 6th now. Excuse me, top of the 6th, and we still got a few more innings to go.
Yeah, there's like 6 of them.
1-2 count. And that one's hitting the air to left field. Rick Ardula is going to charge in to try and grab it, and no, she's not going to be able to even get to that one because it was into the concrete wall, which she's not going to try and run into to grab that ball. Hughes, at 128 pitches, this will be pitch 132. Because that was 128 coming to that bounce. She hits her. It's the second hit batter of the inning for Hughes. And that one has to sting. It hit her in the upper part of her back near her neck. And she's kind of, I mean, she's just shrugging it off. I mean, the poor girl has taken contact out of the back of the head, and pretty much, excuse me, not the back of the head, the back of the back and the neck area, as well as her foot in this one at bat. So she's banged up and she walks down to first. It's still St. Rose at the dish with 2 on and now 2 outs, and the pitch is high. 1-0 the count. Pitch 135 right there for Hughes. The 13-8 game. Again, if this were to be a home run right here, that pitch is high for a ball. If Fuda, who's 4 for 4, by the way, were to hit a home run, it would be an 8-run game, which means last ups for Post in the bottom of the 6th if they can't score and get it under 8. But again, we're not there yet. It's just something important to note is that one, nothing DeAngelis could do about that. That one was hit very hard on the ground. She's unable to grab it. That should go down as an RBI single. And the runs keep coming for St. Rose. It's 14-8. And if you had the over-under of 20 runs, we have surpassed that, by the way. Like I mentioned, it was probably going to get to that point. We're at 22 runs now. And we're getting a change, it looks like. Yeah, Jenny Riquelme is going to come in to pitch now for Alyssa Hughes. We'll take a quick break here. 14-8 St. Rose. Welcome back. Jenny Raquelme is on the mound. That pitcher is in there for a strike, and Eagles just trying to escape this inning at this point without any more harm being done. It's not going to end, though. That's going to be lined off the wall, and that's going to be a double and score a few more runs, and St. Rose continues to pile it on here. I believe the live stats went out on my end, so I can't see. I believe that makes it 16-8. Which means now, yeah, Post got a score in the bottom of the inning or this game is over. 16-8 game. 2 outs still. Raquelme trying to get out of this inning by any means necessary as Matty Bland's at the dish. Eight runs in the 6th for St. Rose. Yeah, it is 16-8 officially. Just got the update on the screen. 4 RBIs each for Fuda and Higgins. And now that one's going to take a bad hop on Raquelme, and that should go down as an error. Also, inning will continue. Runners on the corners. Chandler to the dish now. St. Rose is more than batted around now in this 6th inning. Line drive, base hit. Another run's going to get in, and it's going to be 17-8 now. And now a bad throw is going to get the runner to third and the other runner to second. So that's 4 errors this inning for Post. It just continues to... I mean, I don't know how else to describe it, honestly, without being negative, because I obviously do not want to be negative at all when it comes to it, but it's just kind of falling apart, and it hasn't gotten any better. It's just gotten worse as this inning has rolled on, unfortunately, for Post. And that one's going to be lined into center field. Carly Peruso retires all 3 outs of this inning in center field. Great 2 diving stops by her early on. Final out, she gets there. It's 17-8. Post needs 2 now to get to a 7th inning. Game's not over yet, but time is running out for Post. 17-8. Potentially the last ups for Post here. They need 2 runs to continue this game. They gave up 9 in the top of that 6th inning. I can't really even recount it too much. What a beautiful play at third by Schaub. And, I mean, it was a bang-bang play at first, but Schaub, all the credit to her, even if it was a tie. They didn't give it to the runner, but Schaub, I mean, made a great stab there at third, and a great throw to get the first out of these 6. So like I said, they need 2 runs to continue this game, and I don't really know how to describe the top of the 6th because it just was kind of a myriad of things that happened throughout that entire inning. 9 runs, 5 hits, 3 errors, 2 left on base for St. Rose. And I believe Tomasello just got hit again. So Tomasello will not be able to get tie up the single-season home run record today. Unless we bat around here, as Grace just pointed out. You don't know that. But Right now, it's not looking likely, as that's going to be a 4-set second. Tomasello out 6-4 on the fielder's choice. Post is 1 out away from dropping this one 17-8 in a game where they had the lead multiple times by 3 runs, and it just, they couldn't hold on to it, and they couldn't add to it either, as Puopolo just found her rhythm. After 2 innings, she just figured out how to attack these post hitters, and once or twice through the order, it's been all her the rest of the way. And her offense, more power to them, have picked her up. Fuda, Higgins, and Dieter have 4 RBIs each. That's 12 runs. You take them out of the lineup, Post is winning. You obviously can't take them out of the lineup, but if they weren't in this game right now, Post is leading. But 4 RBIs for those 3, and that right there is your ball game, folks. That's 12 runs just from 3 batters alone that Hughes was just unable to get out. Because if you look across them, they were 2 for 4, 4 for 5, and 3 for 5. Excuse me, there's actually been a change. I'm looking at the RBIs now. Fuda has 5, Higgins has 3, and then Dieter has 4. Dieter's 2 for 4, Higgins 3 for 5, and Fuda's 4 for 5. Fuda, excuse me, is 4 for 5. 3-1 count. Again, unless Post can get 2 here, it's over. That one's going to be outside for a ball. So Caldwell walks. And Julia Meda. Want this game to continue. He's going to need to make something happen or extend it to the next batter. Meda is 2 for 3 against Puopolo today. Puopolo is at 114 pitches. Outside for a ball. And that was very close. Caldwell nearly got doubled off of first, and that nearly ended the game. 2-0 count, though. Puopolo's still got to get one more. Chop foul, 1 and 2. 2 and 1. 2 and 1 to count. Thank you for joining us, too, depending on when this game ends, just for joining us all afternoon watching Post softball. Hopefully you got to enjoy it somewhere nice and warm. Unfortunately, we're outside right now braving this, and Grace says she wants to go back to Myrtle Beach. If you watched our baseball broadcast from a couple weeks ago, we talked about that trip down to Myrtle Beach, and then she accidentally revealed her dad's birthday present on air in the 6th inning of that one. That one's lined up the middle. It's a base hit. That's not going to score anybody. Raquelme, everybody's going to move off a base. So Raquelme Caldwell now at 2nd and 3rd, Meda at 1st. And now Hines to the plate. And I also want to take a moment to give a shout out to the Chestnut Hill College grandfather who sent us a letter thanking us for the broadcast we did for baseball at Chestnut Hill against Post a few weeks ago. We received a handwritten note from one of the players' grandfathers yesterday, and it was really a heartwarming thing to read. And we appreciate him as well as all of you tuning into our broadcast, not just today, but all year long. This is Mike Vesci joining you for this doubleheader today. Griffin Cass couldn't be here due to an illness, but he'll be back with you guys for men's and women's lacrosse on Saturday morning and afternoon at 11 and 2 o'clock. St. Rose 1 strike away from the doubleheader sweep. Foul. Count remains 0-2. One swing of the bat could tie this game, not tie this game up, make it so that another inning will have to be played. The Eagles down 9, can't tie it up right now, obviously. 1-2 the count. Pitch number 125 coming from Puopolo. Staying alive. Staying alive.
You know, like my
Was Brianna Hines.
my face. You know, my accent?
No.
Wow.
You speak wrong.
I don't speak wrong. You speak wrong. Wrong.
Eagles have managed to stay alive here so far in this inning, and that'll do her.
Is that over?
Ball gets on the outside of the plate. Hines down looking. 17-9, your final score. Post gives up 9 in the top of the 6th. It's a mercy rule. And it's a final after 6 innings. That'll do it. Post swept in doubleheader. 17-9 in game number 2. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you for Women's Lacrosse. 11 o'clock, Saturday. Mike Vesci signing off.